I am thrilled to announce we have a sponsor for the show, and it's a group that I have relied on for so many years, the Pew Research Center. And the thing they do that I love the most as someone who enjoys religion and statistics is the religious landscape study, which Pew has been conducting for nearly 20 years. With responses from over 35,000 Americans across all 50 states, the Religious Landscape Study is a comprehensive look at faith, beliefs, and identity in our lives and our country. It is the largest single survey Pew Research Center conducts, aiming to provide authoritative information on the size and characteristics of U.S. religious groups because the U.S. Census Bureau doesn't collect that information. And if you go to the Religious Landscape Studies interactive website, you can find survey data by metro area, state or religion, or for the whole country. You can also explore the social and political views and demographic traits of U.S. religious groups. Pew Research Center conducts high-quality research to inform the public, journalists, and leaders about the issues, attitudes, and trends shaping our world. Studying trends in U.S. religion is a key part of the center's longstanding research agenda. To learn more about the Religious Landscape Study and dive into the data yourself, visit pewresearch.org/RLS. And with that, hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing excellent.
Happy New
Happy New
Year.
Year, and we're finally back with our regular show after a week of Garbage Year in Review. And to begin with, we wanted to give a shout out to some of our more recent supporters. Thank you so much for giving to us on Patreon. Those supporters include Brandon S., Jim, Just Jim, Pancho B., Geffione, Sarah F., Chandra M., Steve S., Matt S., LJ, Wayne, George G., Kevin T., Paige E., Savvy F., River G., Spooky Shenanigans, Sarah S., James K., Mike W., Danny D., Eddie F., Nichelle P., Ben K., and David C. Thank you so much for your support.
Jeez
we
Louise.
Appreciate it.
Happy New Year's to us.
Right. Thank you for supporting the show.
Thanks,
and
gang.
I have 2 weeks worth of stories to share with you, and I triage this thing.
Oh, boy.
So let's start with the most amusing one, I think, for me. This is clearly not the most important story in the world. It's the one that just made me smile.
The gift that keeps on giving for you.
Oh, so much.
Tell
Okay,
me.
about a month ago, the Facebook page for a random local Chick-fil-A in Utah, they posted something on Facebook because I guess 2 of their loyal customers just got married. So they wanted to give a shout out to the happy couple.
Yep.
The thing is, the couple is gay. And so this random Utah Chick-fil-A says, congratulations to the happy couple. Dougie and Toby recently got married, and we are so beyond happy for them.
Oh.
And they have pictures of these 2 guys just in front of the Chick-fil-A, which that's a choice. But okay, these 2 guys are very happy outside the Chick-fil-A. I mean, they seem genuinely happy. Good for them.
Did Chick-fil-A lose some of its like anti-gay, anti-woke spark and kind of like what's going on here? I thought we all decided we weren't going to do Chick-fil-A anymore.
We used to. It's changed a little bit. I'll get to that. So here's what I want to know is why these 2 guys? Are they regular customers? Because they didn't say that.
Yeah.
And do the guys know that Chick-fil-A has a notoriously anti-LGBTQ history, including a former CEO who said in 2012 that the company supports the biblical definition of the family unit? I don't know.
2012 is when I started writing for the Friendly Atheist, and God help me, I probably wrote a dozen articles about the various Chick-fil-A scandals that happened in 2012.
There were many people working for the company and founding the company. It's like the one family that started it who said a whole bunch of really dumb things. But the post went viral because 1, same-sex couple. 2, it's Chick-fil-A, a company that is so Christian they are closed on Sundays,
so insane
no matter where you have it. And 3, this is Utah. Not exactly the safest state for gay people.
Right.
So, like, yay, progress. And
it is wild that Mormons have a problem with gay marriage when plural marriage is like foundational to them. So
to the
like,
religion, yeah.
So they're definitely cool with women being married to each other, but it's just when boys do it.
As long as there's a man involved.
Oh, I
Got
see
it.
what it is.
So I thought okay, when I first saw this, I'm like, yeah, okay, some random franchisee owner
Right.
who's like, no, I just want to run my restaurant. I don't really care about the politics thing. I just assumed some random franchise owner gave a shout out to loyal customers. And like, who's paying attention to the local Facebook page?
Who's following
of a local-
Chick-fil-A on Facebook and
like your local one, not even the company.
About
right.
it.
And the thing is, Chick-fil-A franchises are independently owned and operated. This wasn't corporate. This was probably some random person putting this on who didn't realize the minefield they were stepping into.
Which feels willfully naive, but whatever.
So like this was immediately seized on by so many conservatives. Like the conservative outlet Washington Stand, which is published by the Christian hate group Family Research Council, they posted an article claiming this post was controversial and proof that Chick-fil-A has not, quote, weeded out the LGBT extremism within its ranks.
Weeded out?
The extremism.
The extremism of a boy holding another boy?
As if Chick-fil-A was ever mildly pro-LGBTQ,
Oh,
much less
my God.
extremism. This is what they wrote. While most of Chick-fil-A's chains are run by local operators, the fact that any location felt comfortable posting such a controversial message is further proof that the company has not weeded out the LGBT extremism that sparked so much backlash just a couple of years ago. More on that in a second.
Oh.
Unfortunately for conservatives, the duplicity from Chick-fil-A runs deep.
The duplicity.
Yeah. Here's what they're referring
The duplicity
to.
of being Christian owned and also acknowledging that gay people are real.
Something like that. Here's the thing. In 2012 and for a couple of years after, the owner, the founder of the chain was like, I'm Christian and I'm anti-gay.
Yeah.
And that's why they were in the news. That's why a lot of liberals have problems still today with Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
The thing is, the company as a business is like, I don't think we want to only serve, like even reach out to only a select portion of the population. Like we're a friggin' chicken.
That's not how capitalism do.
Right. They're like, we want to make money. And like, okay, we kind of get that it's good for our business to be closed on Sunday. It makes us stand out, even though they could make money on Sunday.
Yeah.
It's probably good for business. Like, no, we'll do good on 6 days and that makes us special.
Yeah.
Okay. But alienating a good chunk of people who might want to eat your food, not smart.
Okay.
So what happened is, and I don't think this has been reported on as much in mainstream media and even liberal media, is that like in 2019, they said, we have a charitable wing of our restaurant. Our company has a charitable wing. We used to give to the Salvation Army. We used to give to Fellowship of Christian Athletes. They stopped giving to those groups.
Salvation Army's trash.
Salvation Army is famously anti-gay as well.
Yeah.
Also, they replaced giving to those charities that year with, we're going to start making donations to the Southern Poverty Law Center. And that pissed off conservatives as well. And the SPLC has problems of its own, but they're also the ones that maintain that hate group list.
Actually, what does the Southern Poverty Law Center do aside from that list? That's the only thing I know about
They
them.
do file lawsuits here and there, but more than anything, the reason they are well known is because they kind of document things that go above and beyond. Okay, like a mega church can be anti-gay, but there are groups that spread lies about gay people and they'll call those people out. These are anti-white, anti-black groups. These are anti-gay groups. Here's the documentation. This is not just you have a religious belief.
Right.
This is you are spreading lies about who they are, what they do, and this goes way beyond it. And they get dragged for that by the right, because the right's like, we're just following the Bible. We're not a hate group.
No.
It's like, buddy, whether or not SPLC calls you one, you are.
It's also wild to say that you live biblically and we're not a hate group. Like, have you read the Bible? There's just mass exterminations of peoples right, left, and center.
It's just funny because this business decided it didn't want to alienate customers. So in 2019, they stopped giving money to explicitly anti-LGBTQ groups and said, hey, we're going to just change how we do our giving from this charity arm. We're going to focus on groups working on education, homelessness, and hunger. And by the way, that does include Christian organizations Like, they're not saying we're not giving to Christian groups. They're just saying that's where we want to focus our mission.
It's not explicit.
Yeah, so that's it. And it was so overblown when this happened. The Christian outrage was so overblown that by 2023, Mike Huckabee, who was one of the people in 2012, because he was still a big Republican on the stage, was like, the company has gone full bore woke. And
in 2012, he said
2023.
That? Oh,
and
I was going to say, I don't think we said woke in 2012.
One of the big regrets of my life was taking such a public stand for them in 2012. Which is weird because this guy gave birth to Sarah Huckabee Sanders.
Yeah, that should be the biggest regret of your life. You gave birth to a horrible liar.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Also, the company has hired an executive who is in charge of diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Uh-oh. They hate those things.
They really hate that. And here's the thing. Why would they do that? Because it's good business to make sure you're hiring and maintaining the best people from as broad of a segment as the public as possible while appealing to more customers. So if they're like, wait, we could have managers, we could have franchisee owners from the Black community, people who might not otherwise be part of our franchisee owners.
Right.
But in order to do that, we need to know where to look. We need to know where to go, how to reach out to them, because if we can get them in our fold, that's good for business. That's true of any community you want to think of.
Capitalism
Again,
is a fucking insane system.
Target, for what it's worth, got rid of that because they were trying to appeal to right-wing people. And guess what? And they also got rid of pride-themed products in response to right-wing outrage, and they have been boycotted, and the backlash has been huge. They've paid the price for it.
I haven't stepped foot in a Target since they did that, except for my pharmacist is at the Target, and I really like her. She's really nice, so I keep going. But I don't buy anything else, even though I really miss my wine cubes.
There you go. There's also a Chick-fil-A's franchise in Maine, and I only know this because, again, deep rabbit hole here.
Yeah.
In Maine, that is owned and operated by a gay couple. And it's not really news. It's just like, yeah, they want to reach out to other people, and if it makes them money, that's how capitalism works. Okay, so the Washington Stand, they urge the company to go back to their narrow-minded Christian first, pro-white, anti-diversity ways. Here's what they said. Chick-fil-A built a business model based almost entirely on faith. And frankly, that means they should be held to a higher standard.
Did they spell chicken wrong when they said faith? Did they just misspell chicken? It's a franchise built on chicken.
I don't think anyone really knew or cared about the Christian affiliation of the founders of Chick-fil-A before 2012.
Truly.
Because no one cared until you publicly decided to be a bigot.
Yeah.
If you told me Burger King is owned by a Christian, I'd be like, yeah, oh, okay. I don't care.
Yeah, Burger King of Kings. That's what they call it there. Thank you so much. That was actually very funny of me. Good job, Jessica. When I was in college at Ball State, our kind of the main sort of student cafeteria had a Chick-fil-A in it. And I had no idea. It was the first time I'd ever heard of Chick-fil-A. Did not care for it and haven't been back since. Although once do you remember when they moved that Chick-fil-A into State and Lake in downtown Chicago, like right by the Red Line stop? One day I was walking to work and they were handing out free breakfast sandwiches.
Oh, there you go.
They were really good, but I still haven't been back since.
So this group still says, for the sake of the company's broader character, those individual franchises should be held to a moral code that reflects Chick-fil-A's stated beliefs. And the cancer of diversity, equity, and inclusion should be eradicated from headquarters. First of all, what is Chick-fil-A's stated beliefs? We want to sell the food. That's it.
We don't like gay people, but we do like chicken.
Now, the interesting thing is, again, this is the right-wing response to a single franchise congratulating one gay couple.
Oh yeah, I forgot
on
where
their
we
marriage.
started.
Like they're overreacting to nothing.
It's almost like they don't have anything to actually complain about and will just glom onto anything that feels like it could conceivably be anti-Christian, even though most people, I want to be clear, hey Christians, most of us don't give a shit about what y'all do. Like nobody is out here trying to be like, oh, Christians hate gay people, I'm gonna go make out in their church. Like,
no, we don't think about.
No, I have other things to think about. I have a stupid dog I have to keep alive every day.
To their credit, Chick-fil-A's corporate headquarters just didn't even address any of this. They're like, yeah, honestly, no one cares.
Like, in a way, it didn't make it up to their...
When critics, this is from the same article, when critics contacted Chick-fil-A's corporate headquarters to complain, the company declined to disavow the post.
declined to
Here's what happened.
disavow the post.
The
You
Washington-
mean John Chick-fil-A did not come down
That's
from
right.
on high?
When the Washington Stand was like, we found someone on Facebook who said, I wrote a nasty letter to Chick-fil-A headquarters. Chick-fil-A sent back a form letter basically saying, we embrace
Sucks to
everyone.
suck.
Like, they didn't address the substance.
Oh.
They're just like, yeah, we don't have any comment. We are a place that embraces everyone. You want to eat our food? Come spend money, whatever.
Yeah.
That's what they wrote. It was a form letter in response. And they're like, what? You're not addressing my bigotry?
Huh.
I don't know. Now,
That's wild.
in response, not just that article, there was a pastor, a random pastor, who said on Facebook, one of the major reasons I ate at Chick-fil-A was because of the Christian values they once held. To be honest, there are restaurants that have better chicken.
What?
Another pastor.
What? After the chicken wars of 2022?
I know. Another pastor. This is all on Facebook because this is, you got to find the anger somewhere.
stupid.
Another pastor swore his family would now, quote, head to Steak and Shake with its healthier food and big, beautiful American flag.
I'm sorry. Somebody's calling Steak and Shake the healthier option.
My thoughts
Are you
exactly.
out of mind?
One Bible ministry.
It's such trash.
One Bible ministry lamented the company is, quote, now like everyone else, but closed on Sundays. And this the other. There's another right wing outlet.
Something better to do
They
than
don't.
be mad that your franchise chicken place also like. What are we doing here?
There's a place called there's a right wing outlet called the Western Journal. They had a commentary about all this. It opened with the following.
Oh God.
If you're someone who runs a business, it's never a good idea to alienate your core constituency.
Chicken eaters?
But that's the problem. Like, the core constituency for Chick-fil-A is no longer evangelicals.
And also,
it is chicken eaters.
Your core constituency, they're not a politician. It's a place that is trying to make money selling chicken.
I think Chick-fil-A knows damn well Christians are not going to stop gorging their faces because
there is a
single
line wrapped around the block for every Chick-fil-A.
Because a single franchise owner was like, I will not be an asshole to my happiest customers. I don't think they care. So there are some conservative Christians who commented on that Chick-fil-A Facebook's post with things like, this is not a marriage. And another person who said, we urge you to oppose sodomy. It's like, my dude, these are just two guys holding each other outside the restaurant. No, don't worry about it. Like, if this is a crisis, nothing is a crisis, and it shows you how little they have to complain about.
Like,
I don't think this would have generated much attention if extremists on the Christian right didn't try their hardest. We're going crazy over here.
The doorbell just rang. My dog has lost her mind.
Listen, we need a podcast studio. But again,
Please,
the post was not political or
patreon.com/friendlyatheist.
radical or noteworthy. It was just like a nice post. Society's not going to crumble because one chicken restaurant owner acknowledged gay people exist. But that is kind of amazing. I will say I was a little surprised that this company Christians once claimed as this trophy for their culture basically acknowledges now it's not here to validate your religion. And it's not because they're betraying Christians. It's because they're like, yeah, you can eat us. And so can other people.
Because capitalism is going to capitalism.
Yeah.
Like, ultimately, this isn't the Republican Party. This isn't the Southern Baptist Convention. This is a place that sells fucking mediocre chicken.
Yeah. And that's all they care about doing. Okay. You want to get an even happier story here?
Yes.
There you go. I don't know if this is happy, but it did make me laugh. This is the most predictable bit of news ever. It turns out an unvaccinated person may have spread measles while visiting
Disney World.
Ark Encounter.
Ooh,
Yes.
See,
Don't
now
even
it's
know what
gonna-
we're singing anymore.
It's gonna mean even like greater like lifelike the shit, because now people will actually get seaborne illnesses when they're on the Ark.
There
Next
you
step,
go.
Lyme disease. Nope,
So-
not Lyme disease. Scurvy.
Good try. The Kentucky Department of Public Health issued an exposure alert. Here's what they said. Health officials have identified potential measles exposures in Grant County, Kentucky. An unvaccinated out-of-state traveler stayed at the Holiday Inn and Suites in Dry Ridge, right before New Year's and visited the Ark Encounter on December 29th. And then some stuff about measles where they say it's highly contagious respiratory virus that can cause serious health complications, especially in young children. Vaccination is the best protection against measles, says the Kentucky Department of Health.
3 children in 2025 to measles. So.
Just 3?
Don't worry, we'll according to my shallow reporting.
We'll beat that number soon. But basically, as the report suggests, the fact that this person visited Ark Encounter is especially problematic.
I cannot imagine they're a health-conscious group.
No. The virus spreads among unvaccinated people, and you can guarantee that the sort of people who visit the creationist theme parks include plenty of vaccine deniers. Like, what is Ark Encounter if not the meetup spot for the scientifically illiterate?
Oh, just everybody,
and by the way,
touching everything
Ark
and
Encounter
touching their faces.
Offers free tickets for children, which means, just pile them in. There we go. They're encouraging parents to indoctrinate their entire family and bring all the kids there. I did read one article more recently that suggested the unvaccinated out-of-state traveler was a child.
Oh, that's
I don't
what
know
I assumed. That's truly what I assumed.
I mean, it could have been anyone at this point. But I think we talked about this not that long ago. In South Carolina, there's one particular church that's the epicenter of a measles outbreak over there.
You said South Carolina?
South Carolina. Okay. But again, Ark Encounter could very well be the epicenter for something bigger. And what is even more disturbing, or also disturbing like the measles here, is that Ark Encounter on all of their social media has not acknowledged any of this.
Really?
Yeah, the Kentucky Department of Health put that statement out there. Like, hey, if you went to Ark Encounter, maybe you should get checked, get tested, and if you haven't, get vaccinated or whatever. But Ark Encounter itself has not said publicly, hey, there was someone with measles here. Go get yourself checked out. Just take precaution.
God.
No, they haven't done anything. Now, they have told local newspapers and stuff, we've been in touch with people who were here that day to let them know. But
I'm sure you're doing a really good job calling everybody and getting them on the phone and definitely not being like, I don't know, they didn't answer.
I will say on New Year's Eve, 2 days after that person visited, they posted this on social media. This is Answers in Genesis.
Lord.
Science doesn't conflict with faith. Christians pioneered most branches of science. What? Science doesn't conflict with faith, they say, while scientifically sound vaccines are rejected by people of faith.
Also, sorry, could
Christians
you read
pioneered most branches of science. They're like,
have
Isaac.
They heard of Galileo?
Yeah, Isaac Newton. They're like, he's one of us. I'm like, yeah, that's before toilets or evolution. I don't think you'd get to take credit for that. Yeah, but
also the church famously executed Galileo for implying that
No, I'm sorry, that's not real Christians. That's the Catholic Church.
Oh, I do forget that those are different sometimes.
So, like, if Ken Ham
How
or
do
anyone
Catholics
else
feel about vaccines? Pretty regular?
That they're in general the same. It's more of a political issue than it is anything
religious
else.
thing.
So, if Ken Ham or anyone else at Answers in Genesis cares about any of the people they're inviting to their attractions, including the Creation Museum, then maybe urge visitors to get vaccinated against measles.
But they don't believe that measles are real.
Right. Do you remember it was about a year ago, maybe a little longer, that the head of a private Christian school in Texas openly bragged about how they were the least vaccinated school in the state amidst a measles outbreak?
Did anybody die from that one?
I haven't heard anything since.
I don't know if are there long-term medical complications if you have measles as a young person?
Just
like,
death.
Is this going to be like a polio thing that like we see adults
that you might grow up to become Mitch McConnell?
That's actually pretty funny.
Thank you. But like vaccine denial, creationism, it's all part of the same intellectual garbage. Like if you think scientists are just making shit up, of course you're going to reject the overwhelming evidence that vaccines work, that evolution is real. Like this is predictable. And in a sane world, which we don't live in, it would force creationists to think twice about their faith-based ignorance, but it won't. Like most of the people visiting Ark Encounter are the elderly and children that are dragged there by the elderly.
Right.
And so the people who are like, if it's an old person who dies, they're just like, well, that person was old. And if it's a kid who dies, I wonder
that kid
if
wasn't
we
a voter,
just
so
don't
who cares?
find out about it. So Ark Encounter isn't saying anything. So
do you know, are there any problems with like people with homeschool, like people who homeschool or don't participate in like public school or like medical shit? Is there any kind of group of people who like just don't register their children, like have home births. And so is there a chance that there's a lot of children who are born and die and the government is never aware of it?
About the death stuff, I don't know, because that would go through a hospital or something.
Sure.
But I'm curious what their vaccination rates are, all that stuff. There is a really good op-ed in the New York Times a few weeks ago by a guy who just wrote a book about homeschooling, who was homeschooled, vehemently rejects it now, and just calls on some standards to be in place.
Sure.
And his whole article was, there are no standards. Like, a lot of states are afraid of the Christian right, so they don't have even the bare minimum to make sure kids are not abused, that kids are learning anything.
Yeah, do they have like a social work system?
Nope.
Most
states, if you take your kid out of school, government's never going to see that kid again. Huh. And they don't want any laws passed that even do basic minimum welfare checks or anything like that. And that's what he's arguing against. That's what critics of homeschooling have been arguing for a while. And the reason none of those laws have been in effect to take care of the kids, just make sure they're alive, that they're learning stuff, something, is because Christian lobbying groups have fought against them. There's Homeschool Legal Defense Association, groups like that.
A while ago, we were talking about this whole homeschooling thing, and one of our listeners wrote in and told us this story of, basically she went to, I want to say maybe college or something like that, and she had been homeschooled and had to take some kind of like standardized test to make sure she was like up to snuff. And apparently when she handed in, I think, the math portion, the person taking it like looked at it and just like looked at her like, oh no.
Yeah.
And she told that story, I think, on Facebook, and it was one of those things that everybody reacted like, oh Jesus, I'm so sorry, that's embarrassing. She's like, I thought I was telling a funny story. I thought this was one of the funnier things I had.
I think this was in that same article in the New York Times, but the guy pointed out homeschool advocates love to use their best examples to advocate for homeschooling.
Who does
like,
that
this
include?
kid is smarter. This kid went to an Ivy League school. They were homeschooled. They got a perfect score on their ACT or SAT. Meanwhile, when they're trashing public schools, they always use the worst examples to do it.
Yeah.
Now, here's the flip side of that. Are we only pointing out that homeschool can be bad for the worst examples of it?
Right.
Maybe. But we're not saying don't do homeschooling. We're saying just check in to make sure they're okay. And that's what the homeschooling side has a problem with. At least there are systems in place in public schools where if things are not working, there is an attempt to make things right, to punish them or to get better teachers or more money into the system, whatever it is.
It's also worth thinking about, like,
you can't compare their best to public schools like average or worst or
and
whatever.
Even I think, to me, the main issue is that the quality of the education they're going to get is so, like, because there is a difference between like two educated people, or at least intellectually curious people who are like, I want to teach my kid the ways of the world or whatever, versus, I don't know math. I don't know history. I'm not going to teach it to you. I just don't feel like it existing right now. It's very inconvenient
and
for
that's
me.
the problem. There are some homeschooling parents who are like, I don't know about this, but I know people who do, so we're going to work on this together. Okay, fine if you can do it well.
Oh, yeah.
But a lot of parents who are like, I know enough.
Well, I've known quite a few homeschooling students when I like doing work and volunteer work at the barn, and the important thing is, like, their parents bring them to the barn. Like, you know, I taught a girl writing lessons. Like, it's not like these parents are the only people communicating with their children. Like, to me, that's where it gets a little creepy, scary.
Basic
I don't
oversight.
know. Like, are your parents the only people, the only adults you're ever going to interact with? Because that can't be healthy or a good way to, like, learn how to be an adult yourself.
Moral of the story, get vaccinated for measles and everything else.
Yeah, that doesn't feel too difficult.
Totally different story here. Just a nice, pleasant story. So right after New Year's, Zohran Mamdani became the mayor of New York City. He officially became mayor just after midnight. And when he was sworn in, he placed his hand on a copy of the Qur'an.
Oh.
Specifically, he had a few different ones he used at the official ceremony just after midnight and the unofficial.
A few different Qur'ans?
Yes.
Okay.
And a couple different ones like the next afternoon for the ceremonial
and
inauguration.
I bet white people are really chill about that.
Totally chill about that. Specifically, he used his grandfather's Quran.
Oh, cool.
He used a pocket-sized version that was part of the New York Public Library's history. That it's an older copy that has been used for a while. He also had one other copy somewhere.
Have we done this game? What would you swear in on?
Ooh, I think we have, which we're getting to in a bit. I don't know, but find a book that's meaningful to you. That's it.
You should swear in on one of your New York Times crossword puzzles.
Love it.
Wouldn't that be cool?
That would be fun.
Yeah.
This is...
You didn't ask, but I would swear in on the Phantom Tollbooth.
Nice.
It's my favorite book.
Nice.
Maybe on top of the copy of Black Beauty. It's the first full book I ever read as a child. I was in second grade, and it took me 3 months to read it, and I still have it because I was very proud of reading as a precocious child.
Like, I would much rather see politicians not swear an oath on a holy book altogether. But if you're going to do it, do it on a book that's meaningful to you. So it didn't bother me.
What do you do with your right hand or your left hand, though?
You're holding up one hand.
But if you don't swear on something, what do you do with that left hand? Do you hold the microphone?
Up.
You can hold the microphone.
There you go. Do you remember, back when the government was run by professionals, there were 2 different NASA administrators who swore in on the pale blue dot and Contact by Carl Sagan.
Contact. I thought it was Cosmos.
Contact. And in 2023, when the new Congress was sworn in that year, there was a new representative, Robert Garcia, who took his oath on books that were meaningful to him. One of them being, I have access to the Library of Congress. Yes! Give me a copy of Superman #1.
Fuck yeah, that's so smart.
Other politicians at various levels have sworn in on a Dr. Seuss book because their kids loved it, and law books and Hebrew Bibles. When Ilhan Omar and Rashida Tlaib became the first 2 Muslim women in Congress, they took their oaths on the Qur'an, which is something that infuriated Marjorie Taylor Greene so much, she demanded they retake their oaths on the Bible.
And the entire government was like, you're right, Marjorie Taylor Greene, we'll grind the wheels of government to a halt for you.
And now those 2 Muslim women are still, was Tlaib still in Congress? I can't even remember anymore. In any case, Marjorie Taylor Greene is not. She's done now.
Bye.
She out. But the point is, there's no law requiring people to use the Bible.
Yeah.
And if you're going to use a book of fantasy, there's a lot of options. My favorite version of this is, do you remember in 2017, there was a special election in Alabama for the U.S. Senate because Jeff Sessions was taken up by the Trump administration.
Oh, yeah.
And that's the one Roy Moore decided to run for Senate against Doug Jones. But Roy Moore, as that special election was going to take place, about a month before the election occurred, the Washington Post exposed him as a creepy sex predator. But not even talking.
I feel like everybody knew that for a pretty long time, didn't they? That Roy Moore was a creeper.
All the information came out then. But in any case, on the day of the election, CNN was interviewing his spokesperson. His name is Ted Crockett, and they said, "Hey, does Moore still believe?" Because he said this in 2006 that Muslims should not be allowed in Congress, which is a thing Roy Moore said.
Cool.
And the spokesperson was like, well, that makes sense because you have to swear an oath on the Bible, and Muslims cannot do that, so they're prohibited. And Jake Tapper at CNN is like,
no,
like the Bible's tradition, but it's not mandatory. And the dude, Crockett, he just
blue screened,
slack-jawed, open, and he's just like,
it was, you could just see his eyes doing the pinwheels of death.
Yes.
Like, oh boy, this isn't something he was prepared for.
And he just stood there for many long seconds. It was glorious. That. Oh, in any case.
God, you could hear the wind whistling through his ears.
After Mamdani took his oath on the Quran, Senator Tommy Tuberville, now a senator from Alabama. Tuberville? The guy who has a spot that Roy Moore couldn't get. And is now running for governor of Alabama. He shared a screenshot of the headline, Mamdani will be the first NYC mayor to use the Quran at the swearing in.
Oh, good Lord.
He screenshot that, and what did he tweet? The enemy is inside the gates. It's so racist.
I mean...
And no Republicans, as far as I know, said anything about that.
I mean, truly... have I talked about my weird... maybe obsession with like the rights association with 9/11, because these are people who constantly talk shit about New York City. Absolutely fucking hate the place. Hate every person who lives in New York City. It's full of weirdos.
It's a hellhole. You're not safe going there.
But they're also big mad about 9/11, which I get. It was an attack on us. But now, like, it's been 25 years since that happened, and the only thing they remember is that they were brown.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that seems to be the only thing
and
they
every
remember.
subsequent brown person in New York is somehow responsible for 9/11.
Which is pretty impressive.
One racist spoke of how, quote, a city scarred by jihadist terror inaugurates its mayor with the Qur'an oath.
Were they jihad?
The terrorists?
Yeah.
Sure.
Who cares? They don't
Another
know.
person called the swearing in a shocking sight given New York's history with Islamic terrorism.
And these are all people writing from like Arizona who have
Yeah.
never been to the East Coast. And like, you don't give a shit.
Mamdani was like 8. Like equating anything that those terrorists did with any Muslim who's living in New York now, much less these. You can't have him be a religious extremist and a socialist and like all these things in order.
I mean, this is the double think, right? Your enemy is both strong and weak.
Yeah.
All
You're
of that
everything
shit.
we hate, and if they contradict each other, too bad. You're both of those things anyway.
Well, and to me, the hilarious piece of this is like, these people are so comfortable blaming everybody with more melatonin than them for 9/11.
It's very much the Peter Griffin meme of like,
Yes,
how
exactly.
dark are you? That's how scary you are.
But on the flip side of that, when people are like, hey, don't you think we should teach about how this country was founded on people who kidnapped others from different countries and brought them in and made their lives miserable? Don't you think that's something that's worth also remembering in addition to September 11th? And they're like, I am not ashamed for being white, and how dare you make me think that?
New York City for them did not exist before 2001.
I just like, I'm sorry, are all brown people responsible for 9/11? And also no white people have ever even thought about being part of a history of slavery? Is that true? Because it doesn't seem like both of those things
figured
can
it
be
out.
true.
You should be writing for a right-wing site.
Oh my God, I'm going to write 1985 about this.
So, look, if you want to take an oath and you are in public office, like, take your oath on the Constitution. Do it on a book that's meaningful to you. But, like, whatever. Yeah, I'm not bothered by Mamdani taking it on a book that was meaningful to him because I am not worried he's trying to govern based on his religious beliefs.
Also,
because that's how responsible people
why
operate.
would I take a moment out of my precious day to worry about what somebody was touching while they said they were going to do a good job at their job? Like, how does that rise to something I need to care about?
Republicans not caring about who touches who,
I'm
who touches
stuck on
what
some
is
levels
very
of
much
roller
what their
coaster
party does.
tycoon, and I can't get through them. My time is really valuable, and I don't have time to think about what book somebody's touching.
There you go.
All right,
let's talk about a different story. The Supreme Court last year, one of the bad decisions they made,
so many
6-3 conservative supermajority ruling, was in a case called Mahmoud v. Taylor.
Oh,
and it basically said parents who don't want their kids reading books in school with LGBTQ characters or themes could opt out their kids based on their religious beliefs. So if a school's saying we're going to read this book, a parent who's like, that violates our religion, they have the right to take their kids out of school.
Okay.
And the question is, okay, how is that actually going to play out? Like when it comes down to lower courts, public school districts, what's actually going to happen in
so deeply
practice?
unenforceable.
Maybe.
Like, how can you go through a library and be like, we're going to check to make sure there's no queer characters in any...
They're not doing that. They're saying if a parent tells us, hey, we were going to read this book, and a parent says that violates my religion, you could take them out. And when we talked about it, the issue was, so wait, what if they're going to teach evolution in science class?
Yeah.
Can a parent say that violates my religious beliefs and you could pull the kid from school? Like, is
what
that
do you
what's
mean
going to happen?
pull them out of?
And at what point does the school say, no, this is what we're teaching, and we are going to punish your kid if they're not doing it, taking the test, whatever? And that's an open question. We don't know how deep this one goes. But in any case, there's a story in Massachusetts that involves the ramifications of this case now.
In Massachusetts?
Massachusetts. Here's what happened. The dad's name in the court documents is Alan. Alan L. He's a devout Christian. His 5-year-old son began kindergarten last fall. Okay, fine, whatever. Almost immediately, and this is like in August of the school year, Alan tells the teacher he's concerned about the curriculum and he wants to know, hey, send me your syllabus to the kindergarten teacher.
Your syllabus?
I'm just
I
telling
didn't
you.
even want my syllabus when I was in college.
Right. I mean, this isn't college. You think kindergarten teachers have like a detailed syllabus? If a kid poops his pants, it throws off the whole schedule. Like,
I mean, it's like, here's some paper plates. We're going to make bunnies out of that this week.
They have overviews. They don't have very nitty gritty detailed syllabi.
Yeah.
But in any case, Alan
Potato stamps this week.
Yeah, Alan demanded his son be allowed to opt out from, quote, any DEI curriculum. And the school was like, the hell did you just say?
Mean?
What does that
DEI
mean?
curriculum?
That's what the school said.
Those are just words you smoosh together.
That's what the school said. They're like, first of all, your complaint isn't tied to your religious beliefs, so we don't have to take you seriously right now.
Yeah.
And also, we don't know what you're referring to, so we don't know.
Also, huh?
Yeah. And so Alan writes back and he's like, well, me and my son are both Christians.
Oh, my
Period.
5-year-old son has a lot
That
of
too.
thoughts
But he's
on the
also like-
divinity of Jesus Christ.
He writes back, we're Christian. And the school's like, yeah, so what? Like, that doesn't mean anything.
Too?
Who
What
cares?
are we doing?
So later he says, he's like, oh, you want me to be more specific? I see. Okay. I demand my son be exempt from anything at school covering sexual orientation or gender identity.
Okay, so DEI is nothing.
He didn't care about the DEI.
He doesn't care if can his kid read books about black people? Is that okay?
Let me tell you
we're in
what happened.
Massachusetts. I'm assuming this gentleman is white.
But also, probably. But also, when you say, I don't want them covering sexual orientation or gender identity, that's not a specific request. And theoretically, if you read a book that involves straight, cis parents, that does imply an orientation and an identity. So no books?
Do
Is that
they
what
know
you're
that
arguing?
straight is an orientation too, and like cis is a gender identity?
Yeah.
Like
So-
it's not like it's truly these people are like white straight is the default,
Right.
and anything besides that is terrible.
Right. So the school is now, first of all, again, this is August. School just started, and this is the dad's first interaction with the district. It's all this.
Teachers have always had a hard road to hoe, but golly, the year of our Lord 2026 must be a fucking waking nightmare for these people.
Yeah. So also, it's an impossible request to fill because what do you not
What are you
want us to
gonna
talk
do?
about? So the school writes him back a letter, and they include in there, please note that there is no sexual education and human sexuality education in kindergarten.
Yeah.
We don't do that because he requested that too. I don't want my son taking sex ed classes. God. And they're like, this isn't Arby's. Like, your son's 5. We don't do that yet. By the way, all of these letters to the school are in court documents too. And you could just see this dad is like, first impression, get my son out of the sex stuff. And the school's like, very politely, what are you talking about?
Is there a mom in this scenario? Because
I
Jesus
very
Christ.
much wondered, where is the mother in this story?
Yeah.
And the answer is, I don't know.
He's not attracted to women, so he didn't stay with the mom.
I
And that
wish
has
I
nothing
knew.
to do with his orientation.
Because they anonymized his name and they redacted the son's name. Like,
His first
I
name
don't-
is Tyler.
Alan.
Alan.
I don't,
There's gotta be
I
a
don't know.
zillion Allens in
I don't know
Massachusetts.
what this guy's situation is, because it would be funny to me if he's like, I'm a good Christian, also divorced. Like, I mean, just, I would like to know that. That would be amusing to
Or
me.
you had a kid out of wedlock,
Or
which
you had
I
a kid out of
believe
wedlock.
is no now.
Like, I would like to know that, but it's irrelevant to the case. Anyway, Alan's lawyer, he gets a right-wing lawyer, then steps in because he's like, Alan, let me take it from here. You're not helping.
Fair.
He says the son should be removed from any lesson that normalize or promote LGBTQ identities or lifestyles, and will give you examples of books that we know you read in this school district.
For 5-year-olds.
For 5-year-olds. And specifically, there's 2 books that the district's like, yeah, we use these books in our curriculum. Maybe the
Okay.
teacher's going to read them in school. One of them is called Families, Families, Families by a woman named Suzanne Lang. And it's basically an introduction
different
to
kinds of families.
Yeah, that's the book.
Oh, no.
Not only is it that, all the families are depicted by barnyard animals. So it's like, this is a mother and father, and they have 3 children, and it's like little chicks, right? And in that book, it has 2 lines.
Oh, boy.
Some children have 2 dads. Some children have 2 mothers. And then you go to the next page.
Wow.
The mothers are koalas.
And we're just supposed to let that stand?
Uh-huh.
2 mothers?
The book also ends with the line, if you love each other, then you are a family.
Oh,
and that apparently
that's
goes
not what
against
Jesus thinks.
everything Jesus taught. Okay, there's another book. Okay, first of all, I just want you to see.
This dad is 20 years away from being on that Reddit thread that's like, my kids won't talk to me and I don't know why.
Yeah. Look at the picture of the koala mothers.
How can you tell they're both mothers?
They have big eyelashes, is what I gathered.
Do have eyelashes.
That's pretty much all I took from that picture. Also, the 2 dads are just 2 roosters, I think.
Do you know what's hilarious is how many times have you seen a Noah's Ark thing and both the lions walking up have manes in them?
Classic meme, yes.
So good. And also, this is the thing I think about a lot is, have you ever seen, there's like...
Ken Ham is like, this isn't legitimate. It's not how it happened.
There's like Halloween decorations and it's like 2 skeletons like snuggled up and the one skeleton has like skeleton tits. Which just simply is not how bones
Skeleton,
do.
yeah.
But it was just like, what if people
It's a
think...
sexy skeleton.
This is truly like what I was talking about a few weeks ago of like the entire Christian right, their whole thing is, what will people think? And it's truly like, what will people think if they walk by our house and see 2 skeletons representative of dead human beings and neither of them have tits? And they're near each other? What are we going to do about that? What will the neighbors think?
The gay skeletons.
Oh my God, the HOA is going to be on my ass.
The second book they were mad about is called All Are Welcome by a woman named Alexandra Penfold, and that's a book.
They're just such the villains.
Oh, yeah.
It's a book called All Are Welcome. They're like, I hate this. Nobody's welcome.
The Corporation for Public Broadcasting shut down recently.
Yep.
And that's the Sesame Street people.
Yep.
And that's the Republican battle. Like, don't worry, we ended the scourge of Sesame Street.
Did I tell you that I just listened to 99% Invisible about like the founding of Sesame Street and the first few, it was 99% Invisible, but the first few episodes of how revolutionary it was, how revolutionary it was to like show Black people as homeowners and just like show what a city street can look like. And it's not like super shiny and new. It's kind of run down.
Yeah.
Anyway,
So
it's
in
almost
this
like
book,
the
All
people
Are
who
Welcome.
care are the villainized.
All Are Welcome is a book about how all kids, regardless of background, have a place in the community. And in the book, wait, here's the best part. On a page, the only text is, you have a place here. There is a picture of 2 mothers walking with their daughter.
Oh, yeah. One of them's Prego. How'd
And
that
one
happen?
of them's Prego. And that's it. Also,
So
there's
that means IVF probably.
clearly, and there's another picture that says, you have a space here with all the different families we've met throughout the book, including the lesbian
But
couple.
there's a kid in a wheelchair.
There
and
is a
that
kid in a
means God
wheelchair.
did not smile upon him.
Yes.
So I'm not sure why he's included.
So these 2 books are part of the school's kindergarten curriculum, but Alan and his lawyer admitted in legal documents
Oh, God.
that while the books have been used in the classroom, it's not clear whether or not they were actually shown to Alan's son.
Oh, my God.
Because, as I found out reading through the documents, Alan's son has an IEP. He has an individualized education program, so he has to leave the classroom to get specialized education. And the thing is, when they read these 2 books in class, it may have been during a time Alan wasn't even in the classroom. Which, why are you so mad?
I'm so sorry. We're going to have to back up. So now what you're telling me is this man is participating in this school that is going above and beyond for his son who clearly has some like learning issues, which is fine. Who among us? So this school is going above and beyond to craft a personalized learning program for his young son so that kid can grow and thrive as best he can. And this dad is coming in and is like, also there's 2 books and I hate them.
Yes. And then the lawsuit also included descriptions of 8 other books that Alan objects to, even though there's no evidence those books are used in the classrooms at all. They're just random ass books
Now he's just
that were
scatting.
mentioned in the Mahmoud case at the Supreme Court.
Oh, yeah.
And so they're like, there are other books that have gay characters.
You won't
Now,
believe it.
The books I just showed you, the ones that are like, this is a community and these are 2 lesbians, like 2 women just walking with their daughter. Here's a question. Is that promoting anything? No. And it's showing that these people exist in the community. Just like you mentioned, there's someone in a wheelchair. They're not actually advocating for or against. They're just saying, yeah, you might come across someone with a disability.
Because
that
you
is
know
how
what
communities
sucks
work.
Is being a grown-ass adult and having a 3 or 5-year-old point at you and be like, Mom, why is this person doing this?
So here's what the district tells the court.
Yeah.
Setting aside the fact that these images depict creatures like the koalas and the humans, depict creatures that neither marry nor practice religion nor operate on a system of morals.
I also think that male koalas have eyelashes.
The book does not reference gay marriage or hold out same-sex couples or any other potential family grouping as being morally correct or equivalent to same-sex marriages. It simply holds them out as in existence. While plaintiff may have sincerely held religious beliefs as to what a marriage is, there is no reference to the roosters or koalas' marital status, which is a real thing they wrote in a lawsuit.
Oh my God.
And
People
then-
went to law school
and then
for this.
Neither families, nor all are welcome instruct its audience on how to become gay or that being gay is something that should be lauded or encouraged or is morally correct. Both, in the best case scenario for Alan, are geared toward more tolerance. They are not tutorials on the moral equivalency of one's gayness that Alan would have this court believe. So
It truly, and such a good point of like, they're just pointing out that these things exist. Just like I'm sure if you read a Richard Scarry book, I'm sure there's like a little dog dressed up like a burglar who's like stealing something, and nobody's going to Richard Scarry, R.I.P. probably, and being like, you're advocating thievery.
So what about,
there's nothing.
What about the DEI curriculum that Alan was mad about? The school said, we can't do anything with this because we don't know what the hell you're mad about.
Yeah.
But they gave Alan a chance to look at the curriculum and classroom books. So if you want to be specific about which ones you
he's
don't
going through
want,
tearing out pages.
yeah, like let us know what you want your son to avoid. I mean, that way we can address your issue. Because at this point, they're like, all right, crazy day. Every teacher does this.
We need to get him out of here.
Well, let's just tell us, appease him, and then we're done with you. Because like we don't give a shit. We'll focus on the other kids, and we'll take care of your kid. But if your answer is like, I want my kid removed, fine, just tell us when so we can move on with our lives.
Because the thing teachers have is a lot of extra time.
Here's what Alan says. My demand letter further identified objectionable materials in the DEI and social studies curricula.
Social studies?
Yeah, that's
you don't have social studies in kindergarten?
Including, and then he named a few books that he said promote secular moral values, LGBTQ themes, or activism contrary to our faith.
Does he know that he's not in a Christian school? Is he aware of this?
I do not know what
like
Alan
you went to
knows.
a public school. You cannot be like, why aren't you doing my Christian shit at your public school?
He said this, it gets better.
Oh boy.
This is Alan. As a direct result of the school's actions, my son has been exposed to moral instruction about marriage, sexuality, and family that directly contradicts the biblical teachings in which our family believes.
Okay.
At age 5, my son cannot understand or process the conflict between what the school is teaching and what we teach at home. ... Here's my favorite part.
Okay.
I have now had to engage in damage control with my 5-year-old child.
Yeah, that's all it is to have a 5-year-old child. It's just damage control.
Yeah. To which the district responded, plaintiff claims he's had to engage in damage control, yet his declaration... Is he
talking about parenting?
He's talking about the gay books.
No. But when he says damage control, is he just describing parenting? Of like, sometimes you have to talk to your kid and explain to them
I don't
things?
think he wants to talk to his kid, you're right. So, plaintiff claims he's had to engage in damage control, yet his declaration lacks any statements describing any impact these read-alouds had on his son or how his son's, quote, innocence on these subjects has been compromised.
Yeah, what a fucking loon.
So this is the kind of bigotry that conservative Christians are shoving on public school teachers who have the audacity to teach children that they are loved, that there are different families out there, that they will always be accepted. Like if you need to do damage control because your child risks becoming kind and loving, maybe it's your religion that's the problem.
Well, and I also think it's a really good point when they said that these books are just saying that these people exist. Like you can do whatever you want in your kid's school or whatever you want in your kid's home. This kid is going to have to go out into public at some point, and they're going to learn that there are people who are not exactly like this kid. Right. And like, I don't understand. Like, I feel like that is the beauty of having a kid, of like, this is the kind of person we want you to be. Here are other kinds of people. Learn from them.
Right.
And I don't know. I don't have kids, but God, it doesn't seem this fucking critical.
Here's the downside.
Oh, what?
This lawsuit has been playing out all school year long, right?
Yeah.
And a federal district judge has finally weighed in and basically says in the decision, this case is squarely controlled by Mahmoud, the Supreme Court's decision. Basically, he says there are some factual differences between this case and that one in front of the Supreme Court, but none present a principled basis for a different outcome here. And I'm paraphrasing, but the judge is like, look, the Supreme Court said if you have religious reasons for removing your kid from school from reading a book in school or whatever, they have a right to do that. And this judge is saying, yeah, it's not the same case, but like I'm pretty sure that rule still applies here.
Yeah.
So the dad wins. He's allowed to remove the school said we can't remove your kid because whatever you're asking for is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And the judge is saying, no, you just got to remove the kid when this dad doesn't want that kid there.
So how do these decisions get made? Does he get to come in every morning and review the day's lessons and make sure?
I think where it goes from here is the dad just needs to be very specific about what he doesn't want his kid to be exposed to, and the school just has to go along with it. And what it said, the injunction, it's almost comical in terms of what the judge is now making the school district do to accommodate Alan's bigotry.
And do you feel like the judge is aware of that?
I think he is. It's for what it's worth. It's a George W. Bush appointee, but I think the judge is aware. He's like, look, my hands are tied because of the Supreme Court, but his ruling says the district must make sure Alan's son is not taught or otherwise exposed to any of the books Alan objected to.
Those two books.
And that the district needs to send Alan in advance anything that might depict or describe LGBTQ characters, relationships, or activities, or LGBTQ political or social advocacy. And the thing that stood out to me there is anything that might depict or describe LGBTQ characters. That means, in theory, if there is a book they're going to read in school that has a gay character, not promoting anything,
but just happens
to have a gay best friend.
A gay best friend. Classic.
They have to send the dad this acknowledgement in advance so he can decide to veto it.
But also,
this goes down to, do you think gay people belong in society? We were going to teach kids about the world they live in.
Right.
And if we mention that gay people exist, that is now something that needs to be shared with Alan in advance. So he could say, nope, I don't want my kid to know gay people exist.
This feels a little like prescriptivist versus descriptivist of like this dad wants a prescriptivist education for his kid. This is how things should be. This is what correct shit looks like. Whereas it sounds like this school and most regular human beings are like, whether or not this is your ideal perfect world, this is the world that we live in, and this is what I shall describe to you.
But that also means if there's a book, not just with a gay character in it, but a gay character that's clearly gay, but like their picture is in the background of a book, that now counts.
And also,
they have to share that with Alan in advance. Like, listen, this book has a picture of two moms. I think I can't tell by the haircut.
Can you please look at this?
You decide. Like,
they're kind of androgynous, so we want to play it safe.
Right. Like, you're basically making these teachers who are already dealing with the IEP for his son, which is fine. That's part of their job.
Right.
They now have to do even more to accommodate his Christian hate.
What a cunt.
Yeah.
Truly, what an absolute twat face. Like, what? How much time do you have on your hands?
His entire religion collapsed the moment his son learned that some kids have two moms and that, maybe you live in a community that has a gay couple in it. All because this dad doesn't want to talk to his kid.
It's just embarrassing. It's so fragile. Like, just like how masculinity is so fragile. These people's, idea of the world, if it can be shattered completely for a 5-year-old by seeing two women holding a baby, you have a terrible, stupid religion, and it deserves to die.
There you go. All right, let's talk about a different story in New Jersey. It's an update from something we must have discussed 2 years ago.
Okay.
But okay, let's put it this way. Jersey Shore lot of beachfront area, right? So basically, if you live in that area, this is Ocean Grove, New Jersey, but there's a lot of smaller towns in this community. They all have public access to the beach. A lot of people visit there, tourists, locals. They want to go during the summer, go to the beach, set up shop there in the morning. And that's fine. Like the communities benefit because that's a lot of money being spent in local businesses,
things,
right? And all that. And you got to sell passes to have access to the beach, whatever. Fine. There is one particular town on this Jersey Shore area, Ocean Grove, and the like what the state does is the state's like, we can't manage all 3 million of these towns that want to have access to the beach.
Okay.
So they kind of have permits and like, oh, your group is going to manage this community's beachfront area.
Okay.
Fine. You are in charge of like selling the passes and cleaning up and getting the lifeguard.
And these are
all
private
that.
contractors or they're like part of the government?
It's like a public-private partnership, essentially. You have to get a permit from the state.
All right.
But in Ocean Grove, the private group that runs that beachfront area is a Methodist group. It's been around for like over 150 some years or something, but they're the group that manages it.
Okay.
And honestly, the state doesn't care as long as you're doing what you got to do, you know? So that's been fine. But because they kind of have their little fiefdom on this half-mile stretch of beach, they have decided to make it a fully owned Christian thing.
Is this a petty tyrants thing again?
Very much a petty tyrant thing.
God.
In 2023, after Hurricane Sandy wrecked the area, they rebuilt. They all had to rebuild it. And they built a pier that when it extends into the water, it's the shape of a cross.
Yeah.
That's the place we're talking about here.
Yeah, I remember
this. Group is
this.
the Ocean Grove Camp Meeting Association. They said on their website, they still say on their website, this area was founded as a Christian seaside resort, and the mission of the Ocean Grove Camp Meeting Association ... is to provide opportunities for spiritual birth, growth, and renewal through worship. And their goal is to help all generations know and grow in Jesus.
I mean, I'm becoming less and less convinced when people say like, oh, we've been doing this for 150 years, so we should keep being able to do this.
Right.
And it's like, but you did massacre an entire population of people immediately before that. So I'm not sure why yours is the sticky one.
They were actually sued in 2007 because there was a gay couple that wanted to use Ocean Grove's Boardwalk Pavilion for like a civil union ceremony. And they're like, you can't.
We hate that.
Yeah.
God
and
hates love.
A judge later said, no, that violates New Jersey's anti-discrimination law.
Yeah.
And so Ocean Grove said, fine, we have to obey the law. No weddings or civil unions of any kind allowed in this area at all.
Oh my God. This is pools in the South being drained so they don't have to integrate all over again.
Now, they have special rules, though, like because of their charter. I'm not going to get into the history of this stuff, but basically, why were they allowed to build a cross-shaped pier? Because they raised all the money themselves.
Yeah.
And there's nothing technically illegal about a pier in the shape of a cross.
Tackiness is not a crime, unfortunately.
They're using their money to do it. Ironically, by the way, in 2023, they had to shut down the cross part of the pier because it had problems with structural integrity.
Oh,
which,
boy,
how's
the
that
metaphor.
for symbolism?
Oh,
yeah.
I love
Anyway,
it. Yum, yum, yum.
But beyond that, how else do they Christianize this beachfront? On the beach, they have a pole with the U.S. flag on it and a Christian flag.
Ooh.
They have the badges you need to be able to access the beach that you paid for.
They have big old crosses on them?
They have big old crosses on them. Beach umbrellas are available for rent, but those umbrellas have cross icons on them.
Guys, you need to calm down.
Very much so.
This is like those people who like, my entire identity is, I like purple. My phone is purple. My clothes are purple. My car is purple.
It's my personality now.
You guys, you need to externalize your personality. That's my tip to you.
All of that's the backstory because the biggest thing they do to promote their Christian beliefs is that technically the beach is supposed to be open. It's a public beach.
Yeah.
Everyone can have access to it. That's kind of how public beaches work.
Yeah, it's the definition of public.
And what they do is they say, like, what are the beach hours that there's a lifeguard on duty and we're watching over stuff? During summer hours, it's from 9 a.m. to 5:30 p.m., which makes sense when the sun is out.
Yeah.
But on Sundays, they are shut down for the first 3 hours of the morning from 9 to 12.
For worship service.
For worship service.
Wow. How did I guess that?
They don't say worship service. They just say we're closed on Sunday mornings between 9 and 12. Wink, wink. And the reason is they want you all...
a beach.
Well, here's what actually happens. I said Ocean Grove, the beachfront, is like a half-mile stretch of road and beach, let's say. How do you access the beach? Well, you got to go through we want to make sure you have a ticket and that you have paid to help with upkeep and all that. That's fine. But there are, I think, like 9 entrances from the parking lots to the beach.
Yeah.
And what they do during those hours, just like when they're closed, is it's chained off, walled off, blockaded.
Okay.
So you can't get to the beach that way.
Okay.
Now, what if you want to get to the beach anyway? Well, you could drive half a mile down the road to the neighboring town and get to the beach that way. And by the way, for years, there were people in wheelchairs who said, you are blocking our access to the public beach because we can't make that accommodation right there. And it's 10 a.m. on a Sunday in the summer. Why are you preventing us from using this? I mean, these are issues that have come up before.
Sure.
But basically, the very hours in the summer, because specifically that 3-hour blockade, that's between Memorial Day and Labor Day. It's the summer. It's when everyone wants to use the beach.
Yeah.
And if it's let's say a Sunday in the summer, if you want to go to the beach with your family and friends, you want to get there early to secure some space and all that. So the hours when families might want to go for their summer getaway is when they're blockading this area.
Yeah, it's insanity.
And so anyway, for years, this has been the subject of conversation. And in 2023, a state administrative, like one of these smaller state agencies, basically said the barriers you are putting up are preventing people from accessing the beach during daylight hours. That violates state law.
Good.
And the Ocean Grove, this Christian group, basically said, well, we have secular reasons for preventing that because...
Tell me.
Here's what they said. During this 0.5% of the year...
Okay, calm down.
The view of the ocean from the OGCMA's boardwalk and pier is of sublime natural beauty without the visual elements of beach umbrellas, tents, and masses of people. Like, it's beautiful. Why would you want to sully this public beach with humans?
Are you fucking kidding me?
That's their reason.
These people think that the eyesore of human beings using the beach that is their right to use, that's their secular reason?
That's their secular reason.
Oh my fucking Christ. Do you know how many things are beautiful, but y'all keep fucking them up? And I am not blocking them from this. Like, what are you talking? It's really pretty and we like it. What?
Yeah. So in September of 2023, they're still arguing. They're arguing.
Not even a good argument.
No, it's not. In September of 2023, the state basically says, look, you're violating the permit we gave you by blocking access to the beach on Sunday mornings.
Permit revoked.
And if you don't undo your blockade, you are going to be on the hook for up to $25,000 a day.
Yes.
And so the OGCMA complied.
Good.
They opened their beach to the public during those Sunday morning hours.
Ugly. Oh my God. There were people and umbrellas with crosses on them. They were so tacky.
We'll make sure the blockades are not there, but we're still fighting you in court about this. And so for 2 years now.
What leg do they have to stand on?
Their argument is this is our area. We're not doing anything discriminatory.
It's hella not. It's everybody's area, bud.
And all of this has been going on in the courts. And then in mid-2025, one of the judges who's seeing this case basically said, the Christian group can do whatever they want.
Why?
So here's what she said.
Why? Who?
Here's what the judge said. The policy is not unreasonable. They're 3 hours off. She said, the association, the Christian group, they allow access to the beach to fishermen and surfboard users. Basically, if you want to use the ocean, that's fine. You get access. And it doesn't prevent the public. They're not preventing the public from getting to the beach.
Are you sure?
Because they can go from the neighboring towns.
But if everybody doesn't have access, then that's not equal access.
Even people with wheelchairs can go to the next town over, and then I don't know how it actually works. Yeah, those
people with wheelchairs have had it too good for too long.
So here's what the judge said. It is difficult to conclude that the OGCMA is unreasonably interfering with public access.
Jump up your own ass.
Yes. So here's
Who is this person?
Here's what she says. The right of the general public, just a random low-ranking judge. The right of the general public to reach the water has always been honored by the OGCMA, which only asks that in return, its sincere interest in upholding the Sabbath be likewise honored and accommodated.
Jesus fucking crazy.
It is difficult to conclude that they are unreasonably interfering with public access. Those are not two equal but opposite requests.
You are such a fucking idiot.
One
Like,
of them.
Jesus Christ. Open your goddamn eyes and at least try to reason your way out of this one.
One, like the first demand is it's a public space, so people should have access to it. The other is, well, we have religious beliefs that say you don't get to use the public space when we don't want you to use it.
It's so funny because I really like horses. And so every time I see a horse, nobody else can be near it
There you go.
because of my deeply held religious belief that horses are pretty.
So here's the thing about the way this legal ruling worked, though. Low-ranking judge, it's not a federal case or anything. She was not the final word on the matter.
Well,
this
good,
is an
because she sounds
administrative
like she
judge.
shouldn't be the final manner in anything.
Her ruling went to the Department of Environmental Policy in New Jersey, the commissioner of their environmental department. His name is Sean LaTourette. And he had
a New Jersey guy named Sean. This is what we need.
He had the option of accepting, modifying, or rejecting this decision.
Come on, Sean.
And just a couple of weeks ago, in late December, he finally, after a lot of delays, he's like, I need more time. I need more time. And you're like, why do you need more time? Okay, fine. He finally issued his decision. He basically said, yeah, I'm just Xing out whatever this judge said.
Wow.
Yeah, he said, I disagree with the initial decision. For centuries, the public trust doctrine has ensured the right of New Jerseyans to freely access tidal waters, which unquestionably includes the right to freely access the dry sand beach of adjacent shorelines. Furthermore, OGCMA has for decades accepted and enjoyed the benefit of substantial state investment in the nourishment of its privately owned beach, which publicly funded projects are explicitly conditioned on the provision of public access.
Yeah.
We paid for a lot of the shit that helps you maintain this beach, even though this private group controls that place. Mm-hmm. And so you don't get to say no to the public for the stuff that is under the law. So in view of these rights and obligations, OGCMA's summer Sunday morning beach closures are an unjustifiable violation of the public's right to access. I reverse the initial decision. So that's the right move.
Nice.
Now, the Christian group can still appeal this. I don't know if they want to keep fighting this, though, because...
let's fight this. Let's bring this to the Supreme Court.
It's kind of like the Chick-fil-A thing. They have spent years now arguing for what? Exclusion and religious privilege.
Yeah.
And so if anyone said, well, it's tradition and we like it here, they're losing that thing. Mm-hmm. One local explained it to a news site this way. This is a 74-year-old lady who has lived in that community for 20 years.
Oh, I bet she's got
Here's
a
what she
bomb
says.
accent.
It's a quirky little town. The beach is closed on Sunday morning. It's something that people lived with. And then we began to learn that this was not appropriate.
Oh, God bless her.
So the longer they fight this, the more even their biggest supporters are like, yeah, it's kind of indefensible.
It really is.
We thought it was a cute little quirk of our town.
Of course.
But it's not.
It's not. Do you know what this reminds me of is about a month ago, there was an episode of 99% Invisible. It's called The Checkerboard. And it dealt with kind of public-private use land. And I had no idea, but basically... and I will make this quick, I promise. When they were building the railroads out west, the way they needed to get the money to build railroads basically to nowhere is be like, okay, we're going to give away square miles of land to people. And so they did this checkerboard thing of like 1 square mile is like can be privately owned. And then the next square mile is public land. And so it's checkerboarded around places like Wyoming, Montana, things like that. And the problem is... rich people would buy big swaths of the checkerboard. And so these quote unquote ostensibly public lands are blocked in by this person's property. And it went all the way up to the Supreme Court where people were doing what they called corner hopping, which is like going from public land to public land, but they go over like this person's fence. It went to the Supreme Court and it eventually came down to like literally when the founding or like if we want to be horny about what the founding fathers wanted, they made it so that there would be half public land that the citizens of this place can enjoy. And literally the guy who owns this ranch, he was like a pharmaceutical rep from like North Carolina or whatever, had bought all of this thing and just basically was like, no, I don't want anybody being near my public land. And everyone's like, yeah, but it's public. He's like, yeah, but I want it and I want it to be mine.
Yeah.
And basically it came down to like No, the public land is meant to be enjoyed by the fucking public, and it does not matter if you are rich or Christian or whatever. It's just, it truly is insane. It's absolute madness, and it's like rich people and religious people have the same thing of like, I don't want to share. Sharing is bad. Sharing sucks for me because I get less. And that is, man, maybe these people need to go back to kindergarten because public land is public land, my dudes. It's absolutely fucked. It makes me so angry. That's my rant about public land.
Very nice.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
For what it's worth, the decision by that commissioner does not force this group to renounce its faith, remove its Christian symbols or its mission or whatever.
I mean, I still think the umbrellas are tacky. Do you have a picture of the umbrellas?
I do not.
Okay, I'm going to look it up.
But, I mean, it's a win-win for everyone except the handful of religious extremists who want to, like, control everything even though they can't even build their pier correctly.
Oh, my God. It's so funny.
Let's go to a totally... different story here. Is it totally different? It's all the same general area. This is in your favorite place, Indiana.
Oh, you fucking...
This is an interesting one. So 10 Commandments monuments should not be in front of courthouses,
Correct.
government buildings, etc. And we have seen a few states try to get 10 Commandments in public schools, posters of them in public schools. Specifically, we've seen that where? Like Texas, we've seen it in other states too. In Indiana... they had this battle a long time ago. Here's the backstory. In 1958, the governor of Indiana puts a 10 Commandments monument outside the Capitol. Stays there for decades. It got vandalized in 1991, and they're like, we'll take it down to fix it or whatever. But
right back up it goes.
Yeah, we're going to put it right back up there. But it took a while. The new version of the monument wasn't ready until the year 2000.
Jesus.
And that monument... also,
it took 9 years?
It took, I don't know what they were doing in Indiana, but that new monument, they were like, this might be a point of contention for people. Let's put the Bill of Rights on the back of it. We'll put the preamble to our Indiana Constitution in a smaller area, a dedication to the company that made the monument somewhere else. Basically saying it's not just a Christian thing. It's a legal
It's an
thing.
ugly monolith now.
Yeah. But they didn't just want to put up the monument.
No.
Like that year, Republicans passed a law to put up the commandments in schools, courthouses, and everywhere.
Indiana, trash monster.
By the time that governor at the time wanted to put up this monument of the commandments on the State House lawn, the ACLU of Indiana was like, okay, we're suing over the monument or the law that says any of this is okay.
And you said this is 2000?
This is 2000. And the ACLU of Indiana was eventually successful. Like the court said, everything about this is promoting your religion.
Yeah.
You can't do that. So that was that.
Yeah.
That monument that was built just never went up. And after the appeals process and all that, by 2002, case is dead. So
what does that mean? That means the monument is up and everything's fine, or nothing went up?
The court said the ACLU wins.
Oh, okay.
And the other side, the state, was like, all right,
Fine.
we're not going to fight this anymore.
Okay. So nothing,
now,
as of 2000, nothing's there.
Right. But now the state's Republican leaders are trying to get that monument back up.
Oh, sure.
Now,
the year of the Lord 2026.
Because they're like, well, the federal courts are now in our favor, and other red states are trying to get the 10 Commandments everywhere.
I just want to be clear. None of the red states has succeeded, have they?
Not yet, though. The Fifth Circuit in the South is listening to the 10 Commandments case later this month, and all hints are like, oh, they're totally going to say it's okay.
I guess
because they always want to get this
I'm always
to the Supreme
surprised.
Court ultimately.
Like, wouldn't they want to see how it plays out before they put their own neck on the line?
Yeah, I think they're also thinking, well, let's fight this so we can pressure this. Like, let's get it in another court just in case.
Stupid.
Or if the Supreme Court ever said it's okay, we want to be ready to go. So their argument is like, what if we just lie and say it's not about Christianity, right? Like, we'll just say it's about our history.
We just love the movie with what's his face and his guns.
There you
Charlton
go.
Heston.
Oh, yeah. So here's how Mike Braun, the now governor, is framing it. This monument reflects foundational texts that have shaped our nation's laws, liberties, and civic life for generations. Restoring this historical monument is about honoring our heritage and who we are as Hoosiers. Like, that's a lie. There's nothing about the 10 Commandments that's inspired our laws.
I lived in that garbage state for 4 years, and I swear to fucking God, The good Lord is nowhere near that state.
In their lawsuit, this was a weird thing. Normally, if it's a new lawsuit, you go to like, oh, you just filed it. It's a brand new case. No, they're trying to resurrect the 20-year-old
is it 25-year-old now?
25-year-old decision where the court said the ACLU wins this. They're saying, hey, I know it's late, but we want to appeal that decision from like 2000.
Is that a thing you can do?
They're saying, since you guys put this permanent injunction in place that we can't put up our monument, the Supreme Court has basically said all the reasons the judge relied on to say the ACLU was right. Like you can't endorse religion. It violates the Lemon Test. Well, the Supreme Court says the Lemon Test is dead. And so we can get away with it now. So we want you to take this case up again. Okay. Which is a weird argument because, yes, the Supreme Court has discarded this Lemon Test, which said if something violates church-state separation, but the First Amendment's still there. The Establishment Clause is still there.
So I just wanted to interject.
Promoting Christianity is still illegal.
Indiana's education rankings, 43rd in overall public school quality or education levels. You guys, I paid a lot of money to move to Indiana to get educated.
And the thing is, this 10 Commandments display, if they wanted to, they could theoretically include it as part of a larger display of historic documents, which is what they do in Texas. But this one in Indiana very much promotes Christianity.
Yeah,
and the point is they put the Bill of Rights on it. They put it on the back where no one can see it. Because if you look at the way they position
it's a three-dimensional thing.
But it's like, the part in front of the building that everyone sees, that's the Christian part.
Yeah.
No one's walking around to see the back of it. So there's no reason for any judge to take this seriously because the same arguments you could say that they're promoting religion are still illegal. But that's what they're doing in Indiana now. For what it's worth, I want to bring up one last story about this.
Great.
Because in 2019, the guy who used to run the group that is now the ACLU of Indiana, it was called something else before, his name is John Krull. He wrote an article in 2019. Basically, he was retired, I think, and he's like, I want to just tell you a story. And it involves when we were arguing about this 10 Commandments monument in the early 2000s. And he basically said conservative lawmakers tried passing this 10 Commandments law. He knew it was illegal. They knew it was illegal. So why the hell were they trying to pass this law to put the 10 Commandments up? And here's what he wrote. They told jokes about the 10 Commandments bill violating the Constitution. Many of them called it the Indiana Civil Liberties Union Appropriations Act because they knew the ICLU was going to sue and the state was going to lose. But that didn't stop most lawmakers from voting for it. In a quiet moment, I asked one of them why he did it. He chuckled. That's the way the game is played, isn't it? He said, we avoid taking a hit with the thumpers, Bible thumpers, his term for the religious right, and the courts clean up after us. He shrugged his shoulders as if to ask, what's the harm? That's what this guy recollected. Like, it's all a game to these Republicans.
Of course it
is. We got to appease our Christian crazy people base. But then don't worry, the courts will make sure we do the right thing later. We're seeing that here too. Like, people are like, these conservatives are not all right-wing extremists.
Yeah, but best case scenario is they don't give a shit.
Right.
That's best case scenario is that they're insincere.
And that's the thing Kroll pointed out too. Like, this guy said there's no lasting harm. There is lasting harm because fighting these lawsuits take time. Even if the law is knocked down, the legal fees add up. By the way, the legal fees in this case would have been paid for by the taxpayers.
Yeah, of course.
And
because there's no skin off their ass about this. It leads
conservative voters to think their legislators are doing useful work when they clearly are not. And on top of all that, what happens if you get some right-wing activist judge who says the law is justified?
Then we win.
That causes legal chaos, and that has not changed today. The only difference is now you have judges in federal courts who are like, yeah, fine, you can promote Christianity. That's legal now.
I mean, it lays it so transparent that the people who are in power, whether it's in the year 2000 or the year 2026, it is a game to them. It is showmanship. It is not about trying to make anybody's life better. It's about trying to win the next race, trying to raise the most money, and trying to get your name in the news. Like, if the people who actually want to do good work are the people who are getting rousted out because these insincere monsters want the spotlight, want to sign their name on something that nobody's going to give a shit about in 5 years. It's embarrassing. These people should be absolutely ashamed of themselves. I just, it's not a game. This is people's lives. These are people's real lives who like they live in the richest country in the world in fucking history. And what do they get? Some absolutely rich, untalented assholes just waving a flag around in front of them. It's embarrassing. It is embarrassing for every person who's involved. And if these people had any kind of shame in their entire body, they would feel it. But if they had any shame in their entire body, they wouldn't be Republicans. Or probably live in Indiana.
Oof.
I hate Indiana.
There you go. We'll stop there for now.
Oh, we're done?
We're done for now. Please go to patreon.com/friendlyatheistpodcast to support this show. You can write us at friendlyatheistpodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah.
You can get merch at friendlyatheistpodcast.com as well.
That's right.
And leave reviews on all the places you get your reviews from. What are we going to talk about in the bonus?
Well, before we move into bonus territory, I just want to say that I am going to be in Seattle in February. And hopefully we'll try to do some kind of meetup where we're mostly spending time in Snoqualmie, but we will be in Seattle for a couple nights. So if anybody lives around there, hit me up and maybe we can do some kind of meetup. That would be fun. I always love to meet everybody in the world, I guess. In the bonus episode, we are going to talk about Hemant came over with his family on New Year's Day. And that was very fun.
I left my house.
We had a nice time. And I also want to talk more about that Vanity Fair White House photo shoot because I have gone down the deepest, darkest rabbit holes of just watching photographers comment on it, and I'm really obsessed with it, and I want to talk about it.
Sounds good.
We don't have any new reviews, but please go on iTunes,
reviews.
Email us, friendlyatheistpodcast@gmail.com. I promise I'm getting your stickers out. Stamps are so expensive. I have to buy like them $100 at a time, and I can only do that like once a week. So I'm doing my best. I keep getting them back because apparently I don't know how to work any mail. I'm doing my best. You will get them soon. I promise.
All right. We will see you next time.
See you next week. Bye.